welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. Instead of working on any of the mini bike projects or the Miata projects I got going on around here, we're actually going to be working on something a little bit different, but it's still somewhat car related. So this is what my current living room looks like. If I didn't tell you, you would think I just moved in, but I actually been here for about 9 months now. And if I'm not working at my day job, I'm either hanging out in the garage or editing videos for you guys in my room. And if I have any time, I'm hanging out on the couch watching some of my favorite YouTubers. But other than that, I've been really wanting to bring in my car hobby into my living area a little bit. And I think I came up with a pretty cool idea. So why not try it out and film it for you guys? So if you guys had the same idea or kind of want an idea on how to design it up, this is kind of a good video to watch. So I've really been wanting to build a wheel coffee table. So if you've seen, I had these wheels sitting up on the shelf over there pretty much in every single video I've ever filmed. I've had these things for about 6 months now. They're just some simple 17-inch four lug rims I pretty much bought them for my MB Miata, but I kind of went different routes since I can't really find an extra set of these rims just because they have a very weird 5-spoke design. I'm guessing these things are some sort of reps that kind of went out of business, so they're kind of just discontinued, really hard to find. I can't even find these on Google, so if you guys know what kind of wheels these are, I would love to know. But I really want to turn these into a little coffee table, and I think I came up with a pretty cool design with a couple pieces of 2x4, and then I'm actually going to end up using a couple of spacers I have just so I have the lugs that come through, and then I actually put some lug nuts on it, so it gives a little bit cooler look on there. So this is kind of my idea. I kind of just did a rough little drawing. So my idea is to have like a main board going across, and then a couple little pieces sticking out just to help stabilize it sideways, and then it's kind of like a sideways profile. So I have these two little pieces coming up, and then the spacer sitting right on top, where the wheel will stay right on top, and then actually get like a big old glass piece. I'm thinking about using a 2 foot by 4 foot piece of glass. I'm gonna pick that up later once I actually finish up this project. I wanted to see if it actually comes out pretty decent before I buy this glass. But so we're kind of in for a ride with this one. So I think I got a pretty good idea. I've just been kind of measuring this stuff up. I measured the distance from kind of the ground here to this bottom of the face, and I got about 5.5 inches. So I think I'm gonna cut some pieces about that tall, then put the spacer on top, which will actually lift up the wheel about 1 inch. And then sitting on top of these 2x4s, it'll kind of make like the wheel look like it's floating. And especially if I leave these little side pieces coming out like 2 to 4 inches, it should stabilize it pretty good. And then still, once you kind of get like a quick glance at it, it'll kind of look like the wheel's floating. So let me see if I can kind of set one of these up so you can kind of get the cool idea. So that's kind of my idea. You can kind of see how it would be like floating there. And then you wouldn't really see that section there. You'd only see the section right in the middle there. And then I'm planning on painting all this 2x4s black just so you won't really see it. And now that I've been actually thinking about this for a little bit, I figured out I could actually get some rotors, slap it on the spacer, and then put the wheel on top. So then I gotta have rotors hiding right behind the wheel, which would look kind of cool, or even some lights or stuff. But right now I'm just gonna get the main base down, and I'll kind of show you guys. So I started marking on this wood, 5.5 inch little pieces. So I'm gonna get those all cut out, and then I'll kind of update you guys with kind of my plan on mounting everything all up. So I got my little 5.5 inch standoffs cut off right there. I got 4 of those, so 2 per wheel. And I'm thinking about building off this little shorter piece of 2x4 just since it's a little bit shorter, and I'm not sure how far I want to separate the wheels from each other. I'm kind of just really basing it off the glass of being 48 inches and kind of having a little bit of kind of couple extra inches on each side just so the rim's not like sticking out past the glass. But you can think 5.5 inch little standoff plus a 1 inch spacer should make it about 6.5 inches, which should at least make it float about 1 inch off that bottom 2x4, and should make it kind of look invisible, especially once it's black. It'll really hide it in the shadow. So I'm thinking about mounting up a couple of these standoffs more towards one of these sides, so then I can get one wheel in place, and then I kind of figure out how far I want to separate the other wheel. Thinking about maybe 1 inch or 2 apart, just so I at least have like 3 to 4 inches on each side of the glass. Each rim measures about 19 inches in diameter, so plus those together, it's about a little over 30 or whatever it is. So I'm just gonna start mounting a couple of those up and then kind of figure that out, and then I might even start cutting a couple of these little standoffs on the side just to kind of help stabilize this side to side. Well, it got dark quick. I got one wheel pretty much mocked up and almost mounted up completely. I got the two little standoffs mounted up. I just have two screws going in from the bottom. I do recommend countersinking them, or at least sending the screw in a decent amount into that bottom 2x4 just so it's not giving you any issues wobbling back and forth. But just put the spacer on there. I did end up leaving like an inch gap in between the two 2x4s just to kind of give it a little bit more displacement on that spacer, since in the middle it would kind of be more in the center cap area and would kind of need the screws going in sideways. So just kind of spread those out a little bit and looks a lot better. That is looking pretty good. So now I kind of mocked up this one and then got this one in place. So I'm gonna end up just keeping these about an inch apart. So when I measure these together, they're about 38 inches. And then once I get the glass on there, it should have about 5 inches on each side of the wheel. And then this is looking pretty good as well. I forgot about down here. I left about 3 inches sticking out, and I think I'm gonna do 3-inch little standoffs on each side just so it doesn't teeter-totter like that. But this is looking pretty good, since you're kind of looking a little bit far away. It looks like it's kind of floating exactly like I wanted, so that's looking really good. So I'm gonna actually start mounting up the second wheel, get that floated up, and then I think I'm gonna start chopping out my little 3-inch side pieces and then get those all mounted up on there, and then kind of see mostly the finished product, other than having the glass and then painting up these wheels, painting up all the wood, and making it all look good. All right, so I think I finally got all my pieces chopped up. I got all these little side pieces cut out. They're just not mounted on yet. Got this side all mounted up, got the little supports up, and then I even chopped the end off just so kind of got an idea of 3 inches on each side. So now I can officially get the spacers up, kind of mocked up on there, get the rims on there, and we kind of get a good visual of how she's gonna look all together. And now I just gotta really just clean everything up, paint the wood, and then paint these rims as well. I'm thinking like a nice flashy silver or something, and then maybe paint a couple things like a center cap, nice lug nuts. If I can get a rotor in there, that would be sweet. I want to get some valve stems in there, so make this thing look kind of as complete as possible, and then she should look pretty sharp. So I just really need to get the glass too, so that's a big thing. Gotta pick up the glass sometime this weekend, but in the meantime I gotta at least get all this finished up, get it painted up, and pretty much be ready just to slap the glass on and be done. So I think I'm gonna mount up these little side pieces real quick, and then I'll officially mock up everything and then show you guys what she's looking like. All right, so I got her about all finished up now. I got these side pieces all mounted up, so you can tell I kind of countersunk my screws in there just so they can fit. And then it actually kind of hides the hardware a little bit, so it looks a lot nicer. And I ended up mounting up the spacers as well. Just kind of got 4 screws kind of going against each other, and it holds it on there nice and tight. So now this thing's pretty much all ready for paint now. But I will show you guys mocking up the rims. I ended up finding some center caps on my shelf, so slap those on there. I might get a little sticker made of my logo and slap it up on there. But let me get these wheels mounted up on there and just show you guys what she's looking like. So I got the rims all mocked up there, and they are looking pretty good. Everything is nice and solid, so I ain't gotta worry about it like kind of tipping all over the place. I do need to find some lug nuts that actually fit in these holes. You can tell the stud's about the same size as the hole, but other than that, should be pretty nice. Now I just gotta start painting stuff up. The only thing is it's getting pretty late now, so I might just end up painting up the bottom of the wood, because I'm gonna have to flip it over, paint the bottom, and then flip it back over and paint the top. So I might just paint that now, so then tomorrow I can come back, paint the top, and have that all painted, and then I can actually pick up some spray paint tomorrow and start painting up these wheels nice and silver, and then should be pretty much all ready to go. Get the glass on there, and we're ready to see her in the living room, see how she's looking. What's up, guys? So I'm not really sure where I left off. I'm pretty sure I said I was gonna start painting some things, and I've been working away on that. So far I got one rim completely painted up. So I did like a chrome aluminum, I think that's what that paint was called, and it actually came out super nice, so I'm pretty happy about that. So now I just got one more rim to sand down and paint up as well, and then I ended up just painting up all the wood too with a nice flat black out of a spray can, and it actually came out pretty good. Took the paint pretty well, so got the spacers all mounted back up and just got one wheel mocked up for the meantime. So now started picking up a few things, got some little rubbers for the bottom of the wood just so it's not sliding around on the wood, scratching up my floor. And then also ended up picking up some bumpers for the top of the rims, so they'll just sit right on all 4 corners, just so the glass can sit right on top and it's not rubbing the glass on the metal. Should hopefully save the glass from getting all scratched up. But other than that, we're almost finished up. Just got to get that last wheel painted up. I already picked up the glass, so once that wheel's painted up, we get this all finally put back together. I do want to get some lug nuts as well. I think I'm going to try to 3D print some up, because they shouldn't be too bad, and I only need 8. I can kind of make my own cool little design. Then I wanted to get a little valve stems as well because each rim doesn't have any valve stems, so why not put some in there, and I can put some nice little cool caps on it. Got the center caps painted up as well, so let's get that last wheel painted up, then we can finally get this thing all together. Finally got the last wheel all painted up, so now we can finally put this thing all together and be done with this project completely. So this is how she's looking right now. She's looking pretty dang good, and this wheels came out amazing. There's definitely a couple spots here and there on the wheels that didn't come out the best with the paint job, but I was just so tired sanding these after a few hours. But got the center caps in, my little sticker with my logo, so those came out pretty sweet. I 3D printed some lug nuts. I'll show you guys those in a second. Printed up some stickers for the bottom, so it's kind of hard to see that one there, but it just says the wheel table, so that would be kind of cool. Just in case you end up catching that, you might be able to actually read the name. And then on the back I put DillPicklesPerformance just to show kind of who built it. Put the little rubbers on the bottom of the wood, kind of in each four corners, just to help stabilize it out, and it's so much better. Put the little bumpers on the rims, kind of hard to see, but I got 4 on each rim, just kind of each on each corner, so then the glass can sit right on top. So now I can show you those 3D printed lug nuts. So these actually came out pretty sweet. I was actually pretty shocked on printing some threads out and making these things, but now that I actually figured these out, I can reprint these up with a little bit of cooler design that has more of like a kind of actual lug nut look, but these will kind of work in the meantime. So I can try to show you guys. These just spin right on, and it'll tighten right up on the wheel, and they should look pretty good. The only thing is I'm only filling in 4 of these holes out of the 8, so it's still gonna have those 4 holes, but it shouldn't be too bad. This is still looking way better than I expected. So let's finally get those all put together and put this in the living room and see how she's looking. I am beyond stoked on how this thing came out. I couldn't be any happier. I was expecting this thing to go way off the rails and be way worse looking, but it actually came out a lot better than I thought. There's definitely a few things I want to do before I at least have like people coming over and being around the table, because one thing I noticed is the glass. You can see it right now. The glass is very hard to see. So I'm definitely gonna put some like edge trimming all the way around, something like you would use on like a car door to protect the door edge so it doesn't get bumped in like a parking lot or something like that. So probably order up a case of that just to wrap around the edge. And then for the valve stems, I actually ended up ordering up some metal ones just because it makes it look a little bit nicer, and they're like 10 bucks. So why not spend a little bit extra money, put them in there so they could look a little nicer. I do want to 3D print some new lug nuts, so I'm probably going to end up doing like a little part 2 on the table, doing some little upgrades to it. And then if you guys also have any cool ideas, put them down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. I definitely want to find some rotors and put some rotors in there at least, maybe some lights in the future. The only thing is I don't really want to run a bunch of wiring or have like a wire coming out going under the couch or something, so maybe try to figure out like a battery pack or something I could stick on there. So I don't know, give me some cool ideas. I would love to hear them. And if you guys got any cool ideas for your own coffee table, go for it. Have some fun, learn it, and kind of have a cool little project to work on the weekend. So other than that, that should be the end of today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hope you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and peace out.